What's good? I'm wearing my girlfriend's sweater, but let's not focus on that because it fits me perfectly. What's good? This is Daryl Lamar Shabazz with the Multicultural Writers Collective. Sounds amazing being able to say that. Multicultural Writers Collective, if you're an author, an aspiring author, poet, musician, anything that has to do, even if you're a screenwriter, anything that has to do with writing, come check us out and come join us because we'll love to help you and love to help your career out. I just wanted to talk today about how it feels in two senses. How it feels, one, publishing my seventh book, but how publishing my seventh book doesn't feel like publishing my seventh book. Today, I had to deal with so many emotions. I had to deal with so many internal thoughts and difficulties that, first things first, the book was set to release on 11/28. I was self-published. Everything was finished. Everything was complete. Everything was ready to go. I had an issue with the publication service that I was using. So while those issues get resolved, I flipped over to using Amazon, which I usually use. And I'm dealing with difficulties using Amazon that I've, since 2017, 2016, I've never experienced before. Any of these difficulties or any of these problems that I'm currently facing. And it makes me feel like a fucking novice. Like I feel like such a fucking noob right now. That it just seems like such basic mistakes, like really small things that could have been avoided. I guess they're bigger in the long run or in the short run, but I don't understand. Like somebody published an empty book on Amazon, became a bestseller. I don't understand why my book was originally 727 on Amazon. The way it printed out, it was like 800 something pages, and apparently that's their maximum. I did not know that Amazon had a maximum, and the book would have cost about $10 to publish, like per copy, base level before it hits the market. It just $10 to print this bad boy. Big book, really big book. Dealing with some difficulties with that since Saturday. It is now almost Tuesday, and I still have not heard anything. Intermediary hears something, I fix whatever it is that they have an issue with, and then they come right back with another problem. I fix whatever it is they're dealing with, that problem. I emailed the customer service, and it's just a lot of things that it just makes me feel like I haven't done anything in a way. Like it makes me feel like I'm publishing my first book. It makes me feel like I'm right back at the very beginning with no book. I've told all these people, I've been hyping this book up for months. I had an entire marketing campaign for this book. And then the day hits and blah, flub. I guess I'm somewhat concerned. No one's really reached out and asked, like, hey, what's up? Hey, I haven't been able to find the book. So I guess I'm kind of happy and relieved in that regard, but I'm not because I spent a shit ton of money on this book. A shit ton of time and energy getting this all together and getting this focus to be going through this. And it's stressful. It's not really painful. Not painful in the sense of like, if I stabbed myself in the hand with this fork, would I feel it? Like, it's not like that. It's like maybe not even stubbing your toe is painful as hell, so it's not even like stubbing your toe. I don't know. It's like, it's ego pain. You know, I wanted this to be done. I wanted this to be my bestseller. I've had other bestsellers, but I wanted this to be like the best seller. I wanted this to be my breakout novel. And I guess it still can, and it still will be in a lot of other ways and for a lot of other reasons. But it's also made me realize that I had a message. I'm waiting for someone to hit me up, and I don't think that they will tonight. Waiting for, oh my god, I got the whole idea mixed up now. Damn. Waiting for this book to be released. It's reminding me, like, I know, now that the book is done, now that there's nothing else for me to really do right now that I can't really discuss the book or talk about the book, I guess I could, but I can't really market the book like I wanted to. It made me realize that I have no idea how to market a book. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Maybe if I was selling something else or selling shoes or selling something a little bit more popular, I would probably have a little more of a ground weight. Books are popular, but they're not like Nikes or something like that. But no, like I don't know what to do with my time anymore. I don't know what to do. Like right now, I'm making this video because I would usually be editing or postponing editing or trying to figure out part of my marketing plan or something of that nature. But it's December 1st and I have no idea what I'm doing. It's December 1st and I'm completely confused and completely baffled as to what I should be occupying my time with. My rent's mostly paid, you know, and I want to make a career out of being an author. I don't want to go back to struggling working for somebody else. You know, with this project, the amount of people that I've hired, that I've had to manage, the amount of money that I invested, I felt like and I feel like this should have been enough to retire me, to retire my parents, and to really help me enter a brand new pathway of life. But it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like I still have to apply for a day job. It still seems like I might be a year or two off from really hitting my stride and getting to where I want to be in my book career, my author career. And I'm still getting talked to like a freaking rookie. Like, people that have never published a book before are trying to give me advice on what to do. And not that I ignore the advice, I definitely listen to it because who knows what they know, who knows who they know, who knows who's had conversations with them about this type of stuff. So I do take it with a spoonful of sugar rather than a grain of salt. But I don't know. I even see other people editing and marketing their books and promoting their books in ways that, you know, it doesn't seem like they're getting the biggest response. It doesn't really seem like anyone's paying attention to them. What is it about being an author that makes things this way? You have some people that have groundbreaking fan bases, and like, how? Like, who the fuck? Like, they've been writing for years, they've been published for years, they've been promoting for years, and they've gotten the right advice, they've been doing things the right method. But even when I speak to these people, they still don't feel like they're doing the right thing, and it's worrisome. I'm looking at you for inspiration, and you're looking at me for inspiration. And it's like the blind leading the blind. And when I talk to you guys who are breakout stars, people who, you know, I got to talk to Art Shamsky, who wrote a wonderful book about his time playing for the New York Mets. Really, really great time, really great book. And when I finally got a chance, I raised my hand the entire time, and they didn't let me speak. First off, I'm the only black person in this entire room. Maybe there's two other people, but they're off in the background, focused on something completely off. I'm not a baseball fan. I probably do not look like a baseball fan. And I'm sitting here in front of Art Shamsky. I kept raising my hand to ask a question. They wouldn't call on me. It's very obvious that I was raising my hand. Keep raising my hand. I'm sitting in the front row with the fucking mayor. Like, right, like, here's the mayor, here's me, like, right next to the fucking guy. Nothing. So I finally get a chance afterwards. I wait in line to everyone's doing their getting an autograph, taking pictures with him, shaking his hand. I have a copy of my book with me, so we take a picture with his book and with my book. Beautiful picture. But I finally got to talk to him. Like, hey, I wanted to ask you, like, how did you find your success? How did you get to this point? He said, hired book agent. So even when the people are very successful, even when they are reaching a state of success that you feel like yourself you can't reach, you know, they're still mortal humans. You know, they're still dealing with everyday problems like everybody else. they're still functioning and figuring their ways through this world. And even people look at me like, oh, you wrote books. Ew. People, I tell them I'm an author. I treat it so differently. And sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes the bad is that they get extremely jealous. They get extremely vindictive. And this is why I had to leave the general workforce, because I told people I was a book. I was publishing the new edition of Best Friends at that point. And this is an edition of Best Friends that was twice as long. Very proud of my work. I did not spend a lot of time promoting it properly, if there's a right word to say that and not say it. I worked face to face with people, so I was constantly talking to people face to face about the book. Old school, super old school. Constantly face to face. I get reprimanded at work for it. I get reprimanded at the next job for it. They don't want me talking about my books at work, and I just kind of feel like fuck them, wholeheartedly. Just kind of like eat a dick and die. But talking to my coworkers about it was even worse than talking to management about it, that maybe management was onto something. That I'm sitting here working at Target, trying to have a conversation with people that are working at Target who may not do anything else this entire year besides work at Target and spend their paycheck. It's still working at Target to this day. They're still there. And I'm on to other things. I'm on to the next book. They're still at Target. It kind of disrupts everything. It kind of disrupts the entire ecosystem, the entire atmosphere. When I talk to people who are a bit more happy for me about my books, they're happy for me. They're somewhat supportive. But whether or not they buy the book and read the book are different things. Some people buy my book and they do not read it. I don't get reviews. I don't get anything. And I never know how they feel about it. You're not gonna. I'm an author. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. You're not gonna say something about my book and be like, "This is the worst piece of shit I've ever fucking read before. And you need to fucking quit." I'm not gonna quit. I'm just gonna fix it and make a better book. I'm gonna actually be more specific. But it's like my author career just seems to be this weird anonymity thing that even in my personal life, very anonymous. Like God's preparing me that you're going to have so much success that I can't have you in public. You're going to be performing at such a high level that I cannot have you being readily recognized by people. He's been stripping people away from my life. He's been keeping me withdrawn. I've just been spending majority of my time during this pandemic with my son, with his mother, a very beautiful, wonderful woman who helped me, an honest woman. But even my family members, even people I've grown up with, even people that I went to college with, when they communicate with me, there's just such a distance. Like I feel it now. Like there's such a distance and such a wall between me and these people that once I do get famous and I do get rich and their hands are extended, their hands will not be far enough to reach my visual perspective. Their hands will not reach far enough that they can be begging me for money and I'm going to be able to recognize it or feel any type of way about what they're asking me for. It feels nice, but it also makes me feel like a beginner. And like there's just so much further to go. There's just so much more to do. And I'm just sitting at 7 books in, and I'm sitting at the very beginning of it. My first time using Ingram Spark, and it was like starting over again. Managing an entire team came pretty natural and pretty easy, but this feeling of dread, like, am I gonna make enough money to recoup my expenses for this book? Is the book even gonna be able to be released? What do people think about me since the book isn't finished? I gave one due date, now I'm at the second due date, so if the book doesn't come through on Tuesday, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, it's just stressful. And it's good stress. It's not bad stress. It makes me rethink and reconsider my footing. It makes me reevaluate my process and how I'm doing things. To know that I'm definitely doing things incorrectly. I'm definitely doing things wrong. And it's a good wrong. It's a wrong that keeps progressing. It's a wrong that keeps getting better. But it's not correct. And that's really all that matters. It's not correct. So thank you for listening. Those are my experiences and I guess my perspective. what it's like releasing my seventh book. I'm releasing my seventh book, and it feels like my very first time releasing a book. And it feels like I have so much more to learn about this process that it's probably going to take me my entire life. So, thank you all. Thank you very much. And have a wonderful night.